December 18th, 2021. This is 1 year since my dad's passed, and I wanted to read the obituary that I wrote for him. Robert L. Riesinger, commonly known as Bob, relocated from his apartment at Country Meadows Retirement Community in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, to his eternal heavenly home during the early hours of Saturday, December 19th, 2020. Born on December 21st, 1922, Bob was the youngest child of Frank and Mary Riesinger. Raised in the small town of Aliquippa, Pennsylvania, he was described in his high school yearbook as a gentleman and a scholar, serving as the president of the Forum, Worldwide Acquaintance, and Student Loan Clubs, in addition to being an associate editor of the yearbook and a member of the National Honor Society. After earning his associate's degree from Indiana University of Pennsylvania in 1942, he enlisted in the Army Air Corps and served his country honorably during World War II until his discharge at the end of the war. In 1956, he married Barbara J. Flinner, with whom he raised their son Paul and daughter Susan in Beaver, Pennsylvania, providing for them via his job with Pittsburgh Tool, Steel, and Wire in Monaca, PA. Bob was a man of deep Christian faith, with a voracious appetite for reading, writing, and learning, which fueled his passion for teaching. He taught many Sunday school classes and Bible studies over the years, and was greatly respected by his students. Bob's other great passion was classical music, which he passed along to his children. A loyal husband and father, Bob is survived by his wife Bobby of 64 years, his son Paul, daughter Susan, grandsons Jordan and Lance, and great-grandson Christian. He will be dearly missed. Truer words were never spoken. Pardon the weird noise in the background from my dog. Oh, buddy. So, on this day last year was the last time I said goodbye to my father on this side of the veil. I knew it wasn't going to be long, but I had to get home because I had responsibilities here at my house. But when I said goodbye, the last thing I told him was, "Dad, I love you. You go whenever you're ready." And then I hugged him goodbye and I started the 3-hour drive back home. It was late, I was tired, and my heart was kind of broken, but I was also glad that he was peaceful. 2 days after his passing would have been his 98th birthday. He was probably the healthiest person I've ever known. I think he may have had a cold a few times in my life that I know of. He did have a kidney stone once, and that was horrible, but other than that, he was incredibly healthy. But 98 years is a long time for a heart to keep beating, isn't it? I miss my dad. He was one of those people that's one of my favorite memories. He would drive up to visit me when I was in college, and my college was about an hour and a half away from my home. And he would drive up just to take me out to lunch on a Saturday, and then spend an hour or so, and then drive home. He had this one shirt that he wore one time that was a green and tan striped button down, and I told him, I really like your shirt, Dad. From that point forward, I think he wore it every time he came because he knew I liked it. That's just the kind of person he was. He loved his family. Probably the greatest joy in his life. After he passed, I knew, since he had been a military war veteran, that we could have him interred in one of the national cemeteries. So chose one pretty close to where he and my mom had lived, so we could make sure my mom could be there. And I started to collect his military patches and medals and insignia. And this document here, it's actually his discharge papers, his original discharge papers from the end of World War II. Most of the papers at the, wherever they were kept in St. Louis, I think, there had been a fire and a lot of them had been destroyed. So when I requested a copy of them so I could get all of his service records and medals and things together, they told me that his was one of the few that they were able to recover. And there's burn marks on it and you can barely read it. But I recognized his signature immediately, exact same handwriting. I don't know. Putting that little shadow box together was very therapeutic for me. He didn't really talk a whole lot about his time in the service. The only things I remember him saying was that he loved the Army and he loved the camaraderie and he loved seeing new places. And I think he was in New York and Colorado, the two places that I remember him being. He was stateside the entire time. He was they used him for his brain, not his brawn. Very, very intelligent man. So even though he actually passed on the 19th, I wanted to do this little memorial message tonight because this was the last night that I saw him. But as I mentioned last night when I was honoring Jim, I know I'll see him again. For that I'm deeply grateful. But I'm also grateful that he was my dad. And I will never forget him. If your dad's still alive, many of you have lost your parents as well. Parents and siblings and spouses. As I mentioned last night, grief is hard, especially at the holidays. But just treasure the people around you while you have them. Make sure they know you love them. Call them, write to them. Whatever it is, do errands for them, whatever they need. But just be grateful for the people that you have in your life who care about you. That's about all I can take for one night. So